no doubt that adding these beautiful art rares in Japanese, illustration rares in English have been one of the best parts about the Scarlet and Violet era. The artists that they've picked to create these cards have absolutely crushed it, and I think that's really what makes the Scarlet and Violet era special and sets it aside from even the trainer gallery from the back end of Sword and Shield. So in today's video, we're going to be reacting to no other than Danny Phantom's video, talking about the great Pokemon illustration rare retracement. Do we agree? Do we disagree? Just here to hang out with you guys, watch this video with you guys, give you guys some of my takes. So let's get into today's video.
Talk about illustration rares. We've talked about them a few times, but I really want to hammer home some key points. There's a lot of them that are retracing, and it looks like they're starting to correct a little bit. So definitely the time that you want to pay attention to them for a couple different reasons. Number one, Pokemon is very cyclical, so it goes up and down all over the place. Now, we were in this situation where Rip and Chips played this huge impact on the Pokemon TCG space, right? We had Surging Sparks come out, and then all of a sudden everybody wanted to collect Pokemon. Not necessarily because of Surging Sparks. It was just that time frame where a lot of people got back into the Pokemon TCG space, and channels like Whatnot and Drip really started taking off, especially like Whatnot. There was a lot of packs, demand for booster packs, which we'll talk about over the next couple of weeks. Just kind of
demand and booster packs for sure, but you guys have to remember Pokemon Pocket played a giant role. I told you guys multiple videos that even people in my family that had no interest in Pokemon cards hopped into the game, got the game, and then wanted to open packs in real life. All that created this giant Pokemon bubble. Again, like you said about Surging Sparks. Surging Sparks really did feel like it popped off on Whatnot. It seems like that's all people wanted on that channel or on that app. I have tons of friends that are still on Whatnot. I tell them to get off, but they're like, they're all in on Surging Sparks. So what he's saying is absolutely correct.
Kind of blew up and people were cracking packs left and right, and a lot of singles followed suit because it was pretty much everything with Pokemon was getting bought up. It didn't matter where it was, it didn't matter what it was, and it really didn't matter what the price was. It was just getting purchased because everybody wanted Pokemon. The difference is sealed product continues to climb because once you open up a sealed item, there is no going back to it. You crack open a booster box, you're adding 36 sealed packs to the market, but you are removing one booster box. Once you open up those 36 packs, you are removing 36 sealed packs from the market, and you are adding a bunch of singles. There's nowhere else you can go after that. Yeah, the singles can get destroyed, but otherwise you cannot go from singles back to sealed packs back to a sealed box. It's just no way you can't do it. So we added a ton of additional singles on the secondary market. So not only were we around this perfect storm of a lot of product being opened up and cards being manipulated and bought out and prices jumping through the roof, and you have buyout groups that are buying stuff up purposely trying to get it to just jump to higher numbers so that way they can sell and make more money, but also you have a lot of additional inventory being added because there were so many more packs that were being ripped. Now we're in a point right now where inventory is still very low with Pokemon, and Pokemon booster packs are starting to price people out a little bit. Even ultra modern packs that are selling for $5, $6, $7, $8 a piece.
And we officially hit that point. I mean, this is kind of the whole supply and demand thing, right? I had a feeling. I have some friends that are way smarter than me when it comes to this Pokemon stuff, but supply and demand kind of started at a if this was a race, they started right next to each other, started going off, you know, it was neck and neck, and then supply started to pull back, and then demand started to just completely take off. And we seen it with, of course, all the pack breaks, and it just wasn't sustainable. And now we're feeling kind of the long-term repercussions right now in the Pokemon market, where product is still, it's getting better. I'm not here to say that it's just as bad, but we are improving just a little bit. But this is all something that you guys need to take into account, or into going into Generation 10, even the Mega Set, right? We have to see how Pokemon decides to print this next generation. Are they going to print more and for anticipation of, you know, this Rip and Chips, this new monkey wrench that got thrown into a system? Like, it's all going to be very, very interesting to see. And then also going into this all these illustration rares that are now out. We now have so many cheaper and more affordable cars that are just available in the market. A lot of bulk. Bulk is dead. Absolutely dead. You aren't going to make no money with bulk. This might sound super crazy to a lot of you guys because you're new here in the hobby, but you used to actually be able to trade in your bulk and get booster boxes. Holy moly, was that an awesome it was an awesome thing. I would crack open all these packs, and I would sort the bulk myself, the reverse hollows, take it down to my local LGS or the retro game store, and I'd get booster boxes. And now, crazily enough, it's a lot of the stuff that you see behind me. It's a lot of my investment. That's why I tell you guys, I don't really mind selling off some of the Sword and Shield stuff because it was just free money anyway. But things change. Could we see a new catalyst of, ways to flip your reverse hollows or graded cards, whatever? But we'll see. We'll see what Generation 10 has in store for all of us.
Aren't getting ripped open as much. So there's still a lot of product that is getting ripped, but not as much as what there was. And maybe that is why we're seeing things kind of level off a little bit when it comes to the illustration rare category. But one of the reasons why I really think you should start paying attention to these right now is as they continue to digress, as they continue to fall, we have no idea what is going to happen after Black Bolt and White Flare comes out.
And I want to hear from you guys. Quick comment section down below. Is rip and ship culture going to maintain its power? Are it going into further generations? Or is this just a quick little... I mean, they've been around. I understand that. They've been around forever, for a really long time. But is it going to be on this trajectory of growth like a lot of people are betting on? I mean, like I said, when I'm selling all of my lots of English Pokemon cards, like my booster boxes, my collection boxes, I sold a ton of that stuff. And a lot of these people, they just want to, their dream is to be a rip and shipper, to sit into a space like this and just rip Pokemon cards all day. Is this sustainable? I personally don't think so. I think this is a giant bubble. And I think that a lot of these illustration rares are going to be falling through the roof. If we just have to be patient. This YouTube channel should be called Henry's Patient Pokemon Corner, because I tell you guys every single day, just hold off. A lot of these illustration rares are super cheap right now, and they're going to get even surprise, they're going to get even cheaper.
So we know Pokemon is moving into a new generation. That much we have kind of uncovered, right? Like the return of Megas is coming this fall. We are no longer going to have a Scarlet and Violet generation. Instead, it's going to be Symphonic and something else. I can't even remember the name of it. But we're going to move into a new generation. We don't know what that looks like. So Scarlet and Violet was the first generation where we had special illustration rares and illustration rares as far as rarities go. Before that, we did not have that, right? Sword and Shield era, we had Trainer Gallery cards that came through the back half of Sword and Shield. We had full arts. We had alternate arts. That was kind of the shtick with that. But we also had different rarities in the past, like Prism Star cards, Prime cards. We had a lot of different niches that kind of went throughout the years, right? We have no idea what it's going to look like in the next generation. It is very possible that Pokemon could stop printing illustrationers. They could go a different route altogether. They could call them something else. They could do different artworks. We don't know what that looks like. And we do have like some card leaks and things like that. We do know Mega Pokemon are returning and that there's going to be Mega Pokemon cards, which is absolutely amazing, but we don't know what things look like. Now, does that mean they're going to stop producing illustration rares and illustration rares are going to fly through the roof because there's going to be so much demand? I have no idea. No, not necessarily. I don't know. I'm just saying that is something that you want to think about, something that you should at least put in the back of your mind if there are illustration rares that you're missing or that you really want. Now, I'm not saying pull the trigger and buy a bunch of these that are at, expensive price points. I'm just saying pay attention to them and see what's happening to them so that way it's on your radar, so that way you can make the best decision when it comes to spending your collection dollars. Now,
so Danny makes a amazing point. Have a watch list, guys. Do not overpay for a lot of these cards. Just have them on a eBay saved list and wait for, especially like especially for the newer sets. And this goes to both new people in the hobby and older people in the hobby. You guys, make sure you really want that card. There's a lot of people that just buy into these FOMO, pre-FOMO, these pre-release, these pre-release prices. And then 2-3 months down the road, a new shiny thing comes into your optics, and then you don't want it anymore. We've all done it. I've done it. For me, it was the Tyranitar from Battle Styles, right? That's just one that comes to my head. Huge Tyranitar fan. But when that card got announced, right, when when Battle Styles was the pre-release, the leaks or whatever, I was like, oh my gosh, I need that card. I'll pay $300 for that card. To see where I got it. Where we started to where we ended is completely different. Never owned that card until I got it in Chinese for $40. Whoa, my gosh, was that a freaking plot twist. But guys, you have to just wait it out and see, do I really want this card? Is it really worth my 300 hard-earned dollars, 200, whatever it is? Or am I just being fed the hype? That's why I tell you guys, just wait to buy singles a year down the line. And that may sound crazy. That may sound like insane. A lot of us, we just want to be participating in the hobby now, in the current, like you're not in the hobby, you're not a YouTuber unless you're buying all the most recent sets. You're not an investor. You don't have Destined Rivals, you're not an investor. It's just silly. It's silly. Like there's don't let the outside noise, especially if you're an OG, talk to these older collectors, right, and all these older investors, and they'll tell you, like, have your thesis, have what's the certain thing that you hold your hat on, if that's vintage, if that's like mid era, etc. And don't let the outside FOMO and the outside hype get into your head. Like stick to what type of collector you are, and if you're a hybrid collector, there is going to be multiple entry points. You guys may not see it now, but Destined Rivals will be affordable down the line. Or not. Or I could be completely wrong and Destined Rivals goes to 500. But I guarantee you guys, there is going to be a point where we're going to see a slight retracement and a better entry.
Now, illustration rares, fairly easy to pull, and they're the one rarity throughout the entirety of the Scarlet and Violet Black that really didn't change as far as pull rates go. Special illustration rares became more difficult to pull as time progressed throughout Scarlet and Violet, but illustration rares pretty much stayed 1 out of every 12 packs. So you would get on average 3 illustration rares per booster box worth of packs, regardless of what set it was, whether it be...
And these are like early illustration rares were just like... I opened so many booster boxes in the beginning, and he was right. You get like 3 or 4 illustration rares per booster box. Like if you just kept those and waited all through, I mean, it seems like it's a long time. It would like the Scarlet and Violet era has just been such a long span of time. Will be 3 years ish. My memory is shot, but it really does just. In a blink of an eye, it's just over, Like, I have multiple Groudons, that I didn't think were going to do anything. They're just sitting in, like, I would show you guys just my piles of illustration rares that I pulled from booster boxes, and I just was like, hey, this Groudon's cool, $20, let's grab one. I got it in Japanese as well, got it in Korean. And you just never know. You never know what the hype and FOMO is going to do to a lot of these easier to pull cards down the line. And it's just in the English market, and we've seen a little bit of the uptick in the Japanese market, but a lot of these cards start off really cheap. And not until you're in a Pokemon bull market is when we see the fluff come, right? Where we see these illustration rares come out the gate really hot. I mean, we kind of saw it in Sword and Shield as well with some of these trainer galleries. Kind of came out the gates hot, some cards, but you really see the impact of these cards down the line. Like, they do really appreciate well over time. And if you graded these cards early, if you're just a fan of Groudon, you're like, I'm gonna grade 2, 3, 4 of these cards. Sitting pretty nice. You're grabbing some PSA 10, so.
Scarlet and Violet base, whether it be Shrouded Fable, a specialty set, whether it be, the newest set that just came out, Destined Rivals. The only set that wouldn't have that would be, like, Prismatic Evolutions, because they didn't have illustration rares. Even a set like Paldean Fates, which only had 3 illustration rares, it was 1 out of every 12 packs. That's why you pulled so many Palmies and so many Palafins and so many Wug Trios, because there was only 3 to pull from. So the sets that are more inflated, like Paradox Rift, with this Groudon Groudon that we're looking at right here, since there is more illustration rares to pull from, statistically it is going to be more difficult to pull a specific illustration rare from that set because there are so many more of them. So it's not like pull rates really changed with each set. They pretty much stayed the same. So a set like Stellar Crown, a set like Obsidian Flames, even a set like Journey Together, where the illustration rare pool is so low, the amount of cards that are illustration rares is so small, you're going to pull more of those duplicates, you're going to pull more triplicates, because you're more likely to pull that since it's only, you know, 1 out of every 12 packs. Or a set like Paradox Rift, or a set like Paldea Evolved, since the quantity of illustration rares in the set is so much higher, it's going to be more difficult to pull your chase, like this Groudon. If this Groudon is your chase from Paradox Rift,
as inflated as Paldea Evolved is right now, I had so much fun with that set. I would love to open a booster box right now at the $300 mark. I would just throw it $300, have fun, because I mean, you look at the price of some of these illustration rares, and I hate to be this sounds so bad. This sounds really shilly and really like investor-ish. I go back and forth, guys. I'm sorry, apologize, but it'd be fun. It'd be fun to chase some of these cards, grade them, see what they come back. Maybe chase the Magikarp. I have the Magikarp. I have 2 copies of the Magikarp. But yeah, it'd just be fun. I had a great time. I'm now having like the nostalgia for early Scarlet and Violet. I kind of want to open some Scarlet and Violet base. Kind of crazy, but
when it comes to the illustration rares, the fact that there's over 30 of them means it's 3 times more difficult to pull than maybe your favorite illustration rare out of Obsidian Flames is Cleffa, because there's only like 10 illustration rares in Obsidian Flames. So 3 times as easy to pull that Cleffa than it would be to pull the Groudon. Hopefully that all makes sense. Hopefully I'm explaining that all properly. But one thing that definitely makes sense is these graphs right now. You can definitely see as more and more inventory gets added, you can see the demand starting to shift a little bit. Now there is still demand for these cards. You can still, liquidity-wise, outside of a few phases where there was obviously things that got bought up a little bit. Now part of that is because of TCG player sales that happened, but even the week after that, quantities sold a little bit more than what they normally do. Part of that also is just because the price point is getting to a point where a lot more people feel comfortable spending money at these price points versus where they were at before. If you look at it,
and I mean, that's all great, Danny. Shout out to Danny, just crushing it. One of the best. I mean, maybe in my personal opinion, for not even investing, but just getting in at a good price. But Danny's just the man. But never doubt Groudon, right? Never doubt the legendaries. Like, just pick up some of these legendaries. Like, I know most of us actually like Kyogre and Groudon. I never thought that this card should have been, you know, a $20 card, $50 card even. I was like, this, even if it this thing was textured, probably a $250 card. But I digress. Like, it seemed like a no-brainer. I told you guys can go watch my Paldea Evolved videos. It's probably in my top 3. So it's like, this card had no business being as cheap as it was for so long. So then now people are like, oh my gosh, the high was $100. I can't believe I missed a train. Bro, it was like $25 for so long.
At the end of March, this Groudon, for example, was $104. Now, it has retraced down to $73.80. That's where it's sitting right now. Is that where it was prior to this boom? No, it was much cheaper than that. It was like in the 50s or something like that. So it is still up. It is still up quite a bit. So we go through corrections all the time, depending on what the market says a specific single is worth. But we did get a lot more of these Groudons that hit the market because of all those rip and chips, because of all the additional packs that got opened up. And
it says a low was $71. I swear this thing was like close to $30. I could be tripping, but you guys let me know in the comment section down below. And remember, I opened, I go back and forth to English, Japanese. I know Japanese is way cheaper. I'm sure you get, hold on. Let's just do it quick. Groudon, Japanese. Okay, it's like 16 bucks, 25 bucks right now. I mean, here, let me just prove my case with you guys. Look at, it looks so much better. It's not even close. But I digress. I'm sorry. Sorry to go on a rant.
If people did pull duplicates or triplicates, or maybe this wasn't their chase card or a card that they really wanted for their collection, or maybe they're like, well, I'm going to just trade this off now while it's $100 and I'll just get another one down the road when it's cheaper. The demand just hasn't been there at price point, and that's what's important. The demand might still be there, but just not at that price point, not at a $100 price point. And because of that, this card has dropped almost 30% over the past 3 months, and there's a lot of illustration rares that have followed suit. So this card fell down to 71.37, now it's 73.80. Here's the Magikarp from Paldea Evolved, the chase card for a lot of people. The other thing that's really worth noting is a lot of these are somewhat difficult to grade, and the Magikarp could actually be undervalued right now just because it is so difficult to grade in a PSA 10, and the PSA 10 values on a lot of these cards are way above, even though a lot of them have come down a little bit. They're way above what a near mint raw copy goes for.
Hot take as far as like this card being undervalued. I've heard a lot of people say this. I think it's actually overvalued. I don't think people like this card as much as they say they do. Sure, it's Shinji Kanda art, which anything Shinji Kanda does, people just run to. Granted, amazing art, amazing artist. I love this card. I love this card, but I'm not paying $200 for. I understand it's hard to grade. It has all the caveats. It has all the little things that make this card expensive and rare, because that's all you guys care about. It's just expensive and rare. If this card was easy to pull, nobody would want this card, right? And that's just how things go. But I hate the people that just want to say it's because of the art, Henry. The art is what makes it valuable. Don't you see the art? That's why it's a $300 card. It's cap. It is cap. You guys only want it because it's rare, not because of the art. Go buy the Magneton by Shinji Kanda. There's other arts out there. They're cheap. How come those cards aren't $300? Because they aren't rare. Because they're ETB promos. That's why. It's cap. Stop lying to yourselves.
You have a card that is basically, you're like, hey, this is going to grade to 10. Sending it in
also, I want to hear from you guys. It's a grading bubble, like about
for
the
your
pop.
collection.
Like, everyone wants to be a grader. Everybody wants a flip. Everybody wants it. Like, I'm tired of this crap. Like, I'm tired of everyone trying to like spot the best PSA 10 so I can just make a profit. Like, gosh damn, bro. Like, we just up. If we keep this up, there's gonna be no raw cards. Like I like that PSA is grading harder, right? Because I hope this deters a lot of people. I don't know, whatever that word is. What? My English is terrible. I hope this pushes people away from grading and makes people a little bit more hesitant on what to send into grading, right? I think a lot of people just send in like whatever and hoping that they're just gonna be a millionaire tomorrow. And then they get punished with 7s, and then your boy comes right there and just scoops up all those 7s, cracks those slabs right into the binder. Thank you very much. Thank you for spending all this money to grade, where now it's less than the raw price, and I'm a happy camper. I'm just over everyone trying to make a quick dollar with everything. Just enjoy the freaking cards. Yes, I get it. I walk the tightrope every single day, from my collection to my investments. Every day, I ask myself in the mirror, am I doing the right thing, guys? But just at every card, I mean, common cards, freaking reverse holos, holographics, vintage. Everything needs to be gradable or investable. You can't just enjoy the cards. We just can't just be present. It's like to me right now, it's like when people used to go to concerts and actually just stay in the moment and enjoy the experience. But now everyone has an iPhone and just filming the whole thing for God knows what. Most of these people just put the video of the concert on the cloud and never watch it ever again. But side rant again.
budget. This Magikarp was 245.24 back at the end of March, middle of March, March 21st. And it did fall down to 187.13. You can see it got bought up on that one day when TCG Player did the big sale, and now it has started climbing a little bit. So it fell down to 187.13, relatively flat now over the past few weeks. It's sitting at 194.31, still down about 21%. But in a PSA 10 form, even though there are a fair amount of them out there, it is still relatively expensive
just
in
like
PSA 10 form and continuing.
These cards are going to see a retracement, guys. Like, I don't see these cards being as like the best way to put this is I got a comment on one of my past videos, or maybe it was in my community post. Someone saying is like, there's no iconic cards of the Scarlet and Violet era, and I would argue that there is iconic cards, just like the Magikarp, right? It's like when we saw it. But is the Groudon an iconic card? As a lot of these illustration rares that we're going to be talking about today's video, are these iconic cards? This Cluff is awesome. I love it to death. One of my favorite cards ever. Is it an iconic card? No. Is the PSA 10 price probably, inflated? Yeah, sure. A lot of these cards, they're not iconic cards. They're not, blow your mind. But yet they're holding up these values, and I'm like, this is a bubble. If you can't put the optics, put the glasses on, we are in such an inflated market in English, and I cannot wait for it to pop.
That value. Here's the Cleffa from Obsidian Flames. Obsidian Flames is always a very interesting set. A lot of people ask me what the set is that I would recommend them to master when it comes to the Scarlet and Violet generation. There's really 3 easy sets to choose from. The Obsidian Flames set, Journey Together, and Crown Zenith are going to be your 3 easiest sets to master.
People just crapped on Obsidian Flames. I never got it. It's a good set. It is what it is. It didn't have tons of, action-packed cards. The Ninetales is beautiful. One of my favorite cards. I know people think that's cap, but whatever. Cleffa, amazing. I think all the Charizards are super cool. It is what it is. You guys just have to take what these sets are. If you don't like it, move on to the next one. If you need to collect the booster box, just collect the booster box. A lot of these sets, people are they want these things to just be 10 out of 10s. They need to be Evolving Skies or bust for every single booster box. Some of these sets are just what they are. It's a Charizard set. You chase Charizards, and that's it. And people will remember it for just that. I enjoy Obsidian Flames. I love Obsidian Flames. I have multiple Obsidian Flames booster boxes. I got English, Japanese as well. Enjoy these sets for what they are.
Obsidian Flames, probably the easiest by far because pull rates were still goated during that time at the beginning of the Scarlet and Violet block. Special illustration rares were much easier to pull. They were like 1 out of every 27 packs for Scarlet and Violet, for Paldea Evolved, and for Obsidian Flames. After that, that's when special illustration rares became a little bit more difficult to pull. I think Paradox Rift special illustration rares were like 1 out of 45 packs. Same thing with 151, and then Temporal Forces, it was basically 1 out of every 2 booster boxes. So the Cleffa has taken a huge hit because a lot of these got bought up, even though a lot of Obsidian Flames packs were being cracked open at the time. Those cards were being replaced on the secondary market because so much more of them became available, and we saw a giant crash.
And shout out for the people that were upholding this Cleffa right here at over $25. $20, sorry. Like, this card is awesome. It deserves to be, in my opinion, a $50 card. I love this card. Not saying it's going to $50, but it's one of my favorite cards in an entire set.
Even though it's beautiful, still relatively easy to pull, and there's a lot of them out there. So March 21st, it was sitting at $20.52. Then you can see at the end of April, it was all the way down to $14.09. Now, it has come back up a little bit, sitting at $15.05 currently, but still down about 27% over the past 3 months. Here's the Eevee from Twilight Masquerade. This one is really kind of a head scratcher because this one is really, really cool. And you would
this card has no business being sub $100, and this one will take off. You guys want to play an investing grading play? This one is undervalued as hell. It's beautiful, not textured. You can grab a bunch of them. I see them every freaking day at LGSs. I see them online being sold. There's tons of graded ones. Easy place to speculate. Right here with Eevee. I love the little Hydreigon dog toy. It's just one of the best cards. Now, again, $80. A lot of people argue that it should never have been $80, but I would argue the opposite. I think this one is actually undervalued. And we're gonna just go through like some of the other Danny's picks. So we got Eevee, and then of course we had the Shield to Hell Ghastly.
Maybe
I mean,
time
this
to
again. I would always tell you, invest in Gen 1. If you guys want to, you know, collect too. A lot of people, they always ask like how I grew my collection. You could always buy 2 of each card at the low. Hold on to one. Like I said, maybe grade if that's you, maybe, and then flip into yourself. Like, these are easy ways to make to grow your collection. You know, I flipped some booster boxes into ultra modern, ultra modern, and you can just rinse and repeat the stuff. There's always going to be shiny new products. There's always going to be stuff that is going to do well. Some stuff is going to not do well. And at the end of the day, you have a really cool collection. But this one right here, I have in every language, or at least every language I collect, Korean, Japanese, and English. And yeah, it was hyper shelled. Dama made a video about what he did to this card, how he bought out a lot of cards for himself, and then he just gave out the rest of them. So it doesn't take much to move these markets. But we're gonna just conclude this video. I'm gonna leave Danny's video, all the links below in the description. But guys, we officially are at the point I told you guys in past videos that the sealed booster boxes, the sealed ETBs, they're pulling away from the singles. Right now is a great time to keep a lot of these cards on your watch list. Some of them are buys, some of them are not buys, but just be careful. Ask your buddies, ask friends, ask people that have been in the hobby longer. Do you think right now, what's the temperature on illustration rares? What's the temperature on this card? Come to a conclusion, join Discord, talk to people in your LGSs, trade nights, etc. There is ways to get these cards at the best price possible. Till tomorrow, I'll catch you guys with a fresh new video. Thank you so much. Hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Later.